He weighs just a fraction of what a dog usually is, and this is a fennec fox, and he comes all the way from North Africa, and this is his owner, Richard Ross, and thanks for bringing him along. What an unusual animal. The word fennec, even in Spanish, means Zorro, which kind of, when you look at this, you don't think of Zorro, but you were mentioning that in Arabic,
Fennec, F-A-N-A-K, is the word for fox, so there's an assumption. They're not 100% sure that maybe that's where his name derived from.
And where do these guys come from in Africa?
They're all across the arid parts.
They're obviously very, very small. How much does he weigh?
4 pounds. He's not considered, he is the smallest of the canine family.
We have some pictures of what the babies look like, which is really kind of neat. They're so tiny when they're born,
yeah,
and they're white also.
Yeah, yeah.
They're very, very tiny.
When I first got him, he was less than, I think he was maybe 1.5 pounds.
That is amazing.
Old.
Now, we talked about these little critters. Where did you get him from?
Where did I get him from? I read a few articles about him. I got interested in him, and I joined a group on Yahoo called FennecFoxGroupYahoo.com. And in discussing different things with different people in the group, they kind of directed me on who the right breeder was to get him from.
And the breeder is someone here on Long Island?
No,
or
no.
Where did you have to go to get him?
North Carolina.
Now, what kind of experience has this been? I know in the beginning it was cute and it was fun, but has this turned into a nightmare?
Experience. No, well, no. The thing to keep in mind with him, no matter what he looks like, because he's cute. He's like a cute little guy. He's a wild animal, and he is nothing to what he looks like. He is not adorable in his behavior. He is not cute in his behavior. He is wild in his behavior. And all of that stuff, even though he's tame and he's lived with me and my dogs and all that, is still intact. And occasionally that still kicks in. It kicked in a couple of weeks ago when he became possessive of the beagle that I have, thinking that she was his mate. He became very aggressive.
So would you say this is a not-to-buy pet?
You have to really understand what you're getting into. This isn't, firstly, it's not a pet. It's a companion. This thing does not behave like a pet.
Okay.
You know, the thing lives with you. If it's not like a dog, you know, dog, you come home and a dog jumps around and is happy to see you. He doesn't. He doesn't care less. He's only interested in him. And he has to be, because in the wild he has to be interested in himself and what goes on. He can't be thinking about, you know, pleasing other animals or anything else, because he'll get killed.
So this is not a pet for everybody.
No,
You really,
absolutely not.
you really need to know what you're doing. What do you feed them?
That's an interesting thing too, because in the wild they eat lizards, rodents, plant material. Domestically, there are suggestions, but each one is finicky. They vary. There's a food called Missouri, which is a zoo food that's given to wild animals. Some of them eat that. Some of them eat dog food, premium cat food. He eats none of that. He refuses all of it. He only eats him, and this is not true of them all, because it varies. He eats roasted chicken, he eats cheese, he eats green beans, he eats cherries, he eats bread, and occasionally he'll steal my dog's food. But he gets to steal it. He won't eat it on his own.
You're not going to find too many roasted chickens out in the wild, will you?
No. Well, he won't eat raw chicken either. He refuses raw chicken.
How do you take care of him? I mean, do you have to comb him, bathe him?
No, well, you have to bathe him once in a while, but he's pretty much odorless.
He doesn't have that
No.
musky smell that most of the foxes have.
And absolutely, that's a plus in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have that odor, so if a predator is going to have a more difficult time smelling him and seeing where he is.
And the question is, where does he sleep?
Where does he sleep? These are den animals. So what I've done is I've gotten a giant crate, putting blankets over it, blankets on the floor of it, and at night that's where he goes. And he's probably most comfortable in it because when the crate is open and he's running around, he goes in there and he sleeps and relaxes.
I want to mention that if you want to get more information about these guys, the website on Yahoo that you mentioned, but also contact the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation.